Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader, techtrader.com. It's Thursday night, the 27th of April. These are the charts of the day. As you can see from the screen in front of you, the markets are behaving weird after a big run-up. We have a persistent strength in the NASDAQ 100, but weakness in the S&P. Even though we did have a midday rally, they pulled them back and closed negative on the blue chips, but the Dow as well. But the NASDAQ 100 with gap ups and run-ups and a lot of the big blue chips popped wedge, and then popped at the end. And after hours, they're up about 30 more points as Google, Microsoft, Amazon. I can go on and on. A lot of the major players in the Nasdaq 100 absolutely doing well now and and also Facebook, another one. So I want you to see this because if you look at the overall structure, we've had a big run up from 53.60 up to 55.70 some odd. Quite a bit of a sharp move up without any real substantial pullback. The S&P's gone from the 2330 range up to 2390 some odd. So we maybe do it for consolidation in the zone, but the market still looks pretty good. Let's take a look at some of the stocks we picked out this morning, this afternoon I should say. Akiba, after the big explosive move yesterday, had a beautiful inside day. It was up another 73 cents or almost 6%. Volume reduced to 4.8 million, still very strong. But overall, it's a positive inside day. And we're going to be watching tomorrow to see if this gets over 14, because then it's rock and roll time. 15, 16, even 18 are possibilities short term, and there's still 9.5 days to cover on that. Semiconductors remain strong as they're recovering. Amcor, which had come down in the November-January period, rallying again, and now back up to retest the old high at 1244. Today's high 1248, closing at 1233. So watch this one for a positive follow-through. The targets are 14, 16, and 18 going forward, with 6.3 days to cover on Amcor. AXON, after the explosive gap 3 weeks ago, has been moving up steadily in a sharply rising channel. You can see at this point that the top of the channel measures about 26. There's almost 6 days to cover on this one. It wouldn't be surprising if, based on this long pattern, that we had a big move up towards probably the post-IPO days high, which was about 31. So the next target is going to be somewhere in that 29, 31 zone up here, if we do get the follow through. AXTI on earnings recovering as well. Today it popped 85 cents or 13.8% and traded nearly 2 million. That's the biggest volume on an update since back here in February when it spiked. So I'm looking for this. I think it broke back out today. It looks like it did. There's a line of resistance through here that it closed above. So at this point, I'll be looking for a run at potentially 7.5 short term. You get through that, a retest of the high around 8.5, and then 10.5 on what I'll be looking at. BRKS Brooks popped 96 cents or 4%, traded $1.1 million, and as you can see, after breaking out a week ago, it's been moving up steadily and looking to get near the top of the channel around 26.5. Secondary target around 28.5. Carbonite. Well, this software infrastructure stock did well recently to move up and through the declining top line. Today, popping through the double top. Looks like 24.5, 28, 30 range may be coming up. There's 5.45 days to cover. I suspect we get some higher levels on this one. Keep an eye on that. CNAT, our swing from back in January, when it was trading in the 4.5, 5 range, has done very well after popping and coiling for a couple months. Broke out, pulled back, a little falling wedge, went up and consolidate. And today another pop to 911 before closing at 877, up 51 cents or 6%. Still think it has more to go. I'm looking for 11.5 and 14 on a swing on CNAT. Great day for Cohu. On the earnings report after hours today, the stock maintained itself, but take a look at the pop during the day. Almost 910,000 shares, which is big volume for that stock. And after breaking out of that wedge last week, it's moved up every day for 7 days in a row. We may have a little bit more upside towards 23.4 zone, at which point I'd be looking to take it off the table. But I think the stock has broken out on a long-term basis. Looking at this chart, you see a big basis formed, a breakaway gap, and a nice rising channel. So you can very well see even more upside going forward. Eventually, I'm looking for 29.30. EXAS, what a day. Well, you can see that rising wedge is formed. It tried to break out there and pulled back. It tried to break out there and backed off yesterday quite sharply. But today, what a nice pop. 634 at 26.6%, and it traded 16 million shares. One of the biggest volumes ever traded in the stock, going all the way back to July of last year. For me, this stock's a breakaway move, similar to what it had here, which led to much higher. I'm looking for a stock to make it into the mid-30s at this point. 13.7 days to cover on that. A big pop on Grub today. Strong report, up 790 or 22.5%. There's a nearly 10 days to cover shorts for whack today. I think we have a little bit more to go perhaps. For 44. And maybe we get a run towards 47. That's the near-term targets. KRNT, well, Cornet Digital has been doing great ever since we spotted the action earlier in November, going from about the 11 range all the way up to 21, nearly doubling. Today was a nice pop out of this little mini wedge, jumping up to as high as 21.60, closing 21.25, up 80 cents or 4%. Mine wasn't big, but the stock looks like it has more to go. I would not be shocked to see 27 over the next few weeks. LMAT with a big pop. It's been in my top 25 for quite a while. You can see the long-term chart looks terrific. Where I really liked the stock was back in here when it broke out, and then when it formed a big wedge. Broke out of this massive wedge. It took several months to develop. And then flag in here is where we gave you the swing trade. It's moved from 17 up to 32, and it's acting real well in here, although it is at the top of the channel. I have projections of 35 and 39. MIME, a swing trade, broke out today. Didn't close great, but it was still up 64 cents or 2.7%. Volume increased the best volume we've seen in a few weeks. This is a breakout of the wedge and then across the top. My next targets are 27 and 30.31. Swing trade MLCO has been acting great. Now up for 10 to the last 11 sessions. The only session that wasn't up was a quiet inside day. It's acting really nicely in here. Solid 13.4 million shares today. I'm looking for a move to 24. There's 4.5 days to cover that. Major Robotics still doing very well. Look at this chart. Leg 1 and 2 and leg 3 is well underway, which could lead us to the high 40s, 50 range. That's my target. Today it snapped back from yesterday's pullback and ran up 211 or 6%. It looks like if we can get this up through the 37.5 area, it could be as high as 42, eventually 48. 7.27 days to cover on that one. SILC had an impressive breakout today. You can see the base it's formed over the last couple of years. Today it ran up and spiked up 629 or 13%. Mine is light. This is a lightly traded stock, but I'm looking at a $70 stock going forward. Sequans, I like to look at this chart. I like the angle and sharp ascent. I'm looking for 4 and 4 3/4 going forward for Sequans. This is a major breakout of a multi-year base pattern, inverse head and shoulder type pattern. And you can see that 340 was resistance. We tagged 353 today. We can extend this one 5, 7, and 9 going forward. Distinct possibilities over the next weeks and months. TER, well, what a great looking chart. Here's the base, there's a breakaway move, there's a channel up, and you can see that the stock spiked today, running 258 or 7.6% on 9.6 million shares. Now that's a breakout of through the top of the channel. Sometimes when we see that, we can then look at secondary angle up based on that, which could get this one near 40. Keep an eye on this one, this has some momentum. 4.9 days to cover. Hostess Brands, Twinkie broke out today, popping 55 cents, but more importantly, across the double top, looks like it's headed towards 18. 4 days to cover on that one. Semiconductor UCTT also exploded, ran through the top of the channel as well, but maybe getting along in the tooth. This stock gone from literally 4.5 to 20 since May of last year. So, can it go higher? Yeah, of course it can. The momentum is a big one, very strong. It's right at its all-time high, and any movement here can get this stock even moving on a run up on momentum into the low 20s. Xilinx, another semiconductor with a good report, exploded from 441 at 7.3%, and broke out across some key resistance as well. There's some resistance at the top of the channel line coming in around 67. That's my near-term target. With 6 days to cover, we may get through there, to there, and even through there. It wouldn't shock me if the stock made a move up towards 69.70. And lastly tonight is Yandex, which had a big day, popping through resistance, doing it on 8.5 million shares, getting to the highest level since 2014, 2.5 years ago. There's some resistance up in that zone, coming in around near 29. You get through that, we're looking at a stock potentially in the low 30s, 32. And changing the angle of ascent on this one to look more like this, and coming across the tops on a parallel basis as well. I can see this as being the new angle of ascent, which at some point could get us up into the 35, 36 range. So keep an eye on this one. This was a key breakout day, and it looks to me like it has more to go, potentially. And that's it for tonight, everybody. Have a good evening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Good night.